So the reason for making this video was to kind of give an update for the ones that know me, and now for the fitness industry that I'm trying to step back into. So I left in 2017 with hopes of doing something beyond of my own self. I lost my way a little bit after I started competing in 2015, going through things that I didn't understand, and now I do. I was running through an ego tunnel, and I was losing myself. I didn't respect the sport, and I ended up losing myself. I forgot my way, forgot my why. And then in 2017, up to it, I decided that I needed to make a change in my life. And I did. I joined the service, and if most people know me, I'm usually pretty crazy, and so I kind of go through the most extreme things as possible. Because I was always told growing up, if you're gonna do something, you do it the best, and I've always thought that my best was the best. Assumptions. And I had to learn that too. But I wanted to be around the best, or what I thought that the best was, and that was the Marine Corps if I was going to join the service. And it turned out to be something way more than I could ever imagine. It's the best brotherhood and system that I've ever took out of myself to get into. And I found more pieces, lost some pieces, but I gathered a lot. And I met my wife at this time. I had 2 kids, and I had the bestest group always around me, and that cared for me, something that I never had. And it's in an extent of respect and value of one another. And I never felt as good to be wanted in that way, and then respected on your choices that you can make in the times that you can make it. It's something I'll never get over. Can't get used to. And yes, I know I do men's physique, and I've done in the past, but I'm not running 3 miles anymore, and I'm not running 5 miles a day. And smoking does inhibit your health. I don't commend smoking. What I do say is, if you can control yourself and not smoke much and use it as a leisure, then hey, so be it. If I could, I'd have some clove cigars, but I don't. I just have some cigarettes, so, you know, keeps my hands busy. You know, being in the Marine Corps, you always keep your hands busy. So like I said, I've picked up pieces along the way, but to be where I am today, I had to lose a lot as well. And the reason why I'm not in, and I was medically retired in 2022, August, is because I put myself to be in a position to be the best man I could ever be. But I had a disease secretly laying dormant that, with full confidence and full freedom, comes out of control. And that's what I did with alcohol. Completely became that it was the Marine Corps and alcohol that made me who I was. And so it was my identity. And yes, with the Marine Corps, it's always a part, but there's reasons, and it's not for people like myself that take it too far. So hey, coming up on the 13th of this month would be 31 months sober. But we'll get into that another time. And because of my drinking habits and thinking that I had control, which I didn't, but at the time I thought I had control, and I can create an environment to put me in a situation to where I can be as elusive I could with alcohol. And I did. And what happened was I almost nearly died. Let me rephrase that. I pretty much was saved by God, because I should have died. And those are my reasons. Alcohol got me into a position where I wasn't coherent, I wasn't thinking straight, and somehow a car went out and hit me. I don't know, I don't remember. All I know is what the police report and the hospital says. Now, there was an investigation, and that was determined, but that just sounds horrible. And with that accident, yes, I had a couple skull fractures, ribs broken, my MCL was torn, I had a slight ACL tour. I mean, it really messed me up. When you get your head knocked on your side, in the back of your head, you have flashes or memories or anxieties of things without you kind of knowing. And that's kind of what put me in the position to be medically retired. That and my physical ability to maintain the standards of the Marine Corps. And it's tough. It's tough. But I was 3 months into the fleet, and I was struck by a car, and that made I should have listened then, but that made my alcohol worse. I remember I was in the hospital for 3 days, and on the 4th I got out. So June 3rd was the accident. And between June 3rd and June 12th, I went down out of my barracks, which was on the 2nd floor, because I refused to go to the 1st. I wanted my own room, and at the time there was my roommate that was leaving, so I thought that, hey, I'm not moving, I want my own room. I don't need nobody taking care of me, I got this, right? Marine Corps mindset. I'm capable. And so with my not knowing really how severe that my body was, driving to the store with crutches and a brace, thinking back on that, I was insane. I couldn't even get out of the bed on the 12th, after the 12th, because of my surgery. They blew my knee up more than they had to. But they wanted to make sure that nothing was matter on the other side. And so my whole knee is numb. I can't feel it. I'm always shaking. It's always shaking. Can't ever stop it. I don't know. Maybe it's my muscles are trying to contract and stuff. But hey, I'm making it. I did make it, because I was supposed to have about a year to get ready, and because of documents and stuff got kind of messed up, which I didn't know. I was like a Lance Corporal, and Lance Corporal don't know. And hey, they gave me 9 months to get ready, and I did. And because of that time constraint, that last 6 months, I really pushed myself, because I was afraid that I was going to lose the one thing that I've really ever earned myself. Like getting the title in 2017 of September was the best thing that ever happened in my entire life, up to my wife and my ex-wife and my 2 children. Those experiences, it's those and the Marine Corps. That's it. It's all I really didn't know who I was until I joined. And then I didn't really know exactly the type of man I was going to be till I met my ex-wife. And then having our second child really put things in perspective for myself. And because of my alcoholism, like I said, it destroyed me internally. It destroyed my relationship with my wife, with my kids really, and the Marine Corps. It was something that I wish I could take back, but I got sober, and I'm sober now, 31 months, and trying to piece all this stuff together from a stupid situation that never should have happened. Because I might still have been enlisted, because I did re-enlist. I found out I was in my re-enlistment status as a tier 2, and to me, hey, what does that mean? That means that I'm not the best, and there's 3 tiers. And because of that, I redid PFTs and I redid shooting, because this is what I wanted. I was like, hey, I'm gonna get my life back together. I'm gonna do this better. I'm gonna get my wife back, and we're gonna have another kid. But I didn't know that my next journey of life was gonna be sober. And through that, I found out that there was a lot of me that wasn't me, and there was a lot of me that was. But through both of those, I lost some pieces, and I couldn't make it anymore through being active. It was too much stress. I was losing her and having a kid, and it was time for me to put up my hat and let the guys below me take control, because I know there will be some that would take my spot, because I just wasn't there for them anymore. I couldn't have been. Mentally and physically, I was losing everything. I lost 40 pounds within 4 months. I was about 180, dropped down to about 140. And I just wasn't me anymore. I was a whole different Thomas, and it wasn't the best thing that I needed to for my next enlistment. And I did get accepted. I was going to be a recruiter, and I got my tier 1 status. Everything was great. And then I had to understand what that transition was from being active Marine to a non-active Marine with medical status the way it is. And that's okay, because I'm slowly finding myself now again. Through what I always felt comfort with, which was weight training. And that's another story I'll get into about my father, who he is, how I grew up, why weight training is such a component in my life, that if you noticed ever, well, not really if you noticed, I need to exit that out. So let's exit out and then start from here. That I noticed growing up, each complete fall that I thought was at the bottom, I used weight training to get my mind steadily back to center, to go up to the river. And even though that now I have all of these medical issues for my mind and body, I'm not worried about weight anymore, because I've learned through types of dieting now and the types of exercises and workouts that I've learned through the Marine Corps, and then with what I've learned outside of the Marine Corps, it's all coming down to one thing, which always I knew, but really didn't understand until about 4 months ago. Well, really, to say December of 2023. Consistency is everything within life, and it goes really deeper than the word just the consistency. It's your train of thought on an everyday basis, pretending that there's somebody over your shoulder that is, you have to and need to do the right thing, not because of anything other than that, and then tomorrow you'll be a better man. And if you don't feel like it when you get to tomorrow, that you're not a better man, just remember, tomorrow from that day, you'll see consistency of what you're doing in the gym, or writing a book, which that's what I'm doing as well, and I'll talk about that another time. It's just taking the time to want to edge at something. Just keep chipping away. Because yeah, you can, you've learned to take a giant axe and cut it out real fast. But as you get older, you see that that's not the longevity way to go. Put down the axe and take a tree saw and cut it in every direction. It's going to take a lot longer, a lot more muscles, but you'll see that at the end of the day, that tomorrow, you'll be the better man. And that's what I'm learning through this journey now, coming back and doing NPC training for my show that not my show, but the show in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, March 30th. Will be my first show since 2015. And it's a different prep, different training, and it's put me in a mindset that I know I'm going to step on stage probably a lot lighter than I did in 2015, but my package that I'm going to bring in a whole, my mind and my body is going to be 10 times better. I love the sport. I love being around the same type of people that have the same motives, bettering yourself through some craziest things. Everybody might seem that whatever you're doing, consistency is eccentric or off the wall, but that's the beauty about yourself. Whatever you do that makes you happy might seem weird, but deep down inside that thing, just keep chipping it out. Keep perfecting it. There's other things that you have on a stove, move it around. Put one next into the other, and then downtime. Because you can't keep always being perfect at one, you gotta try something else. Just stay consistent. I'll be doing more videos about things, about myself. I have a huge story to tell, and I feel like I need to tell it. I'm writing 2 books right now that really sum up my mind on life and then my marriage. So, and then I have another one that was a story written in college that I turned into something not just spiritually, but it turned into a interdimensional thing. Kind of into sci-fi. It's my thing. I don't know. Teach their own. So, yeah. So I'm here at my house, my dad's. So I'm here at my father's place. I'm sitting on a chair. This is, if you see my videos, this makeshift pull-up bar and weights, and then a bench. You know, if you like something, you do it no matter where you're at, mentally or physically. You can always be moving. And luckily, my dad wants to get back into shape, has some equipment here, and every day I figure out, like, hey, I've learned through the Marine Corps, every time you pass by it, do some pull-ups, do some presses, because that consistency keeps your mind in the right shape. If you can do it, no matter where or what or who is seeing you, sounds like it's something that you need to do. There's the gym I go to, Elite Fitness Blanchard, and then in Killeen, if you've seen my other videos, True Fit. So I'm always trying to make sure that there's a gym I go to, somewhere I go, no matter what task I'm doing that day or what I'm trying to accomplish. Because this last year journey I've gone through, it's been more about not just myself, but fixing things within my life that was before the Corps. And so I consider myself two people, the one before the Corps and the one after. And I'm trying to mend some things before I get to where I need to be. And and with that is fixing some stuff here at home. And it's working out great. It's a journey that's gonna set me up to give me to get me a way to go to California, to give me a better opportunity on going back to California where my kids reside. And that's my steps. I'm gonna be here fixing some things, fixing my mind and fixing my body. And then I'm gonna be traveling to California in a bigger, better environment than I was before I left. And getting things straight with getting back with my children and proving to them that I am what they see when they see me. And it's gonna be fantastic. I've been through some wild things that I'll talk about here and there throughout my videos. I'm gonna start doing some more videos, but with more audio, and then maybe if y'all like me to answer questions about stuff, I'm cool with that. So the way you rule your life is your choice, but you always have to remember that you have more of a ripple effect than you can ever imagine. Try to play some chess, understand 2 moves ahead, so that the moves that you're doing now will be a lot better.